hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. This is Tamika's Den, okay? I am Tamika, and you are now in the den. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Honey, I could barely even say my intro because this episode got me pissed off. I'm here to do the recap, child. All right, break it on down. Take it from the top of Sistas. Fair Game, Season 5, Episode 14. As far as I'm concerned, the name of the episode was Fair Game. But we could have called this Karen is on her bullish again. Why am I still seeing Karen having fits? Why am I still getting the bitterness, Karen? How long are we going to carry the bitterness with us? Inquiring minds want to know. Mind you, you coming in here to wreck up, Zach and blame everybody but your daggone self and look at the daggone man in the mirror. You're blaming Zach, you're blaming Fatima, you're blaming Andy. Girl, look at your daggone self. And in the meantime, at the same time, you want to talk about I'm changed, it's all good, I'm so happy, everything went well. I'm in a good place. I'm where I need to be because of the help of my mother. And I'm going to have Aaron by my side. And we're going to go and smile in his face and grin and make it seem like he's the best thing since cooked rice. And you're going to have your ice cream and get, his hands when he come out from playing basketball and you finish hanging with the damn girls. But you just finished carrying on a whole damn fit at the house. Your girls is over here telling you how good you did and well you did and how proud of you they are. And I'm saying it's a no for me, dog. If I was your friend, I would be telling you need to cut the ball, okay? Shh. I don't want to hear nothing else from you. That's what I would be telling you if I was your daggone friend. I'm sick of it, Karen, okay? Now, Zach, on the other hand, I do have to say that it was wrong of you to make Fatima the same daggone desk, okay? I would not want that. I don't want something that you made for somebody else. I don't want no hand-me-downs, no leftovers. Give me all was mine and just for me. All right. So that part I didn't mind Karen calling you out on. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I would have definitely been in my feelings about that too. Moving on along, Andy, I was actually freaking... Girl, I was going up for you when Karen tried to call you out. I said, who you think you are, Miss Karen. Andy has been a friend to you, and she didn't even know about the engagement for that long, and it wasn't her place to tell you. But 2 seconds later, Andy, I'm on your butt, too, because you still sitting here smiling and cheesing in freaking Gary face, talking about I'm going to get rid of my girl so you could come over. Excuse me? First of all, you're supposed to be being here to give Karen support, and let's not forget that Sabrina just came out of jail, and that was supposed to be the whole reason for y'all all uniting. So you trash right now in my eyes too, Andy, okay? You and them, your trash behind Gary that you want to run after, honey. I don't give a daggone how big the thing is. According to Danny, it's big enough for him to be a porn star. Danny, I need you to get it together with Preston. That's what I need you to do. And I also need you to figure out that it's Q that we talking about here, okay? I don't know why nobody is not mentioning the name Q to freaking Danny. How long is it going to take for that to be pieced together? But y'all, let's go ahead and get into this episode. Shall we take it from the top? So, of course, we here at this meeting at the house, Fatima being cordial, she asking, do anybody want drinks? Zach over here talking about, I really thought we needed to sit down. We needed to have this conversation. We got to talk if this baby is mine. Of course, she looking, oh, it's about the baby. What else you think is going to be about, Karen? Yes, it's about the damn baby, okay? Oh, okay, well, carry on. What is it that you have to say? So you and Fatima came up with this idea, Now that you spoke to Fatima, you want to talk to me. Well, yes, Fatima's his woman that he's in a relationship with, that he lives in the same daggone house with. So they did have a conversation as a couple, and now he is coming to you to try to start this plan. Oh, okay. Oh, really? That's interesting. So you talked to Fatima and then you decided, well, that's good to know. Of course, everything is freaking sarcastic. And so he's still being calm. He's like, I want to be responsible. I want to try to figure this out, get some kind of child support arrangement going. Oh, child support. Zach is like, yeah, oh, okay. And so as far in terms of him saying if the baby is his, she repeating that, and she's like, well, all of a sudden you want to have this conversation. He said, yeah, well, I think it's the right thing to do. She says, well, I appreciate that. Like you said, if this child is yours, oh yeah, Zach says, we don't know if it's mine yet, but we do know that it's a possibility. And so I think we should start the discussion. Oh, I see, Karen says, he says, I thought about it and I feel like it's only fair. So Karen's saying, yes, okay, tell me what's fair. So Zach's still ignoring her. He's like, right, I think it would be fair if you would get about $3,000 a month, right? I can contribute $3,000 a month to the overall expensive. Oh, three, he says yes. So Karen is like, I see, and he was like, well, what do you see? Because you keep saying I see every damn minute. I'm glad somebody finally said it, because they know, child, these people will I see you to death, okay? So she was like, I see that this is a nice ass house you living in. I see all the things you got. I see that nice ass car outside. As a matter of fact, it's two nice ass cars outside, right? And he's like, Karen, she like, no, let me finish. So he's like, okay. So she was like, I see that you're more concerned with about the money than your actual child. So he was like, no, that's not it. And that's not fair. She was like, it's not. And he was like, no, it's not. That's not what this is about at all. So she was like, Zach, you don't have to play games with me. And he was like, I'm not playing with you. He was like, I'm not at all. He said, I just feel like this is important and that we need to talk about this now before we know if the baby is mine. So now at this point, Karen, of course, just goes, well, let's clear that up, Let's let you know it's yours, okay? It is yours. So then they like, what? When did you find this out? Of course, they got to play the dramatic music and everybody looking at each other. Andy looking at Fatima, Zach looking at Fatima, whatever have you. So it's like, what is mine? Yeah, it's yours. I did what, Fatima suggested. So, of course, thank you, Fatima. I took your suggestion and I went and I had the ultrasound done, at the doctor's office. So Fatima's like, oh, what I suggested to your mother. And she's like, yep, exactly. All right. So she was like, thank you for that. And I inquired about the ultrasound and they did it. So Fatima, like all of us, knows that still is not 100% accurate. We really could break all this down and have a daggone DNA test done. But of course, we ain't going to do that, Karen is saying it's close enough. Okay. It's 7 days apart to be exact, because of course, Fatima brings up the fact that this is kind of cutting it close, isn't it? You was with both of them around the same time. And so Karen says, yep, 7 days to be exact. Okay. But, pretty much the math is mathing where, exact. So Fatima says, don't be combative. Karen said, I'm not being combative. Okay. I'm just telling y'all what it is. So Fatima was like, okay. So she was like, yeah, that's what it is. So she was like, Fatima said, Karen, what is she? Said, I'm sitting here and I feel like we going back and forth and it's always a back and forth with you. And Karen was basically like, look, it's not no back and forth. I'm just telling y'all guys how it is. I'm just sitting here and I'm taking all this in, or whatever the case may be. If it really was something where I was trying to be combative, or if it was a problem, then I wouldn't even be here talking to you. Okay. And so, basically she ends up telling her, if I wasn't cool, then I wouldn't be sitting right here. I would be talking about that desk. And she points to the desk. She like, the same desk you built for me, the same color, actually, the audacity. Okay. I would be worried about, what you got all around in this daggone house. And so she was like, that would be better, and then Fatima said, you're absolutely right. So she was like, Karen just said, Zach, I'm not going to sue you for child support if that's what you're supposed to be so afraid of. I'm not asking for anything because I don't need your help to raise this child. She was like, I have my own money. I always have. You know that. And now I'm going to have Aaron too. Okay. So, of course, he's laughing at that. And she was like, who's willing to step up even though this ain't his baby. And so Zach says, well, I plan on being there. And she said, good, then the child will have two fathers. Okay. And Andy's like, Karen. And then, Andy says Karen. And Karen was like, is that all? And so they pretty much was like, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. So she says, okay, let's go. And she gets up, for them to leave. And so, as they was walking out, she says, it's really a nice house, Zach. And he says, thank you. She said, and Fatima. And she's, Fatima said, yeah. She was like, I really do wish you well in this struggle. And so Fatima was like, it ain't no struggle, honey. Okay, that's not what it is for me. And she says, well, thank you, And she says, you ain't been around long enough. That's what Karen told Fatima. And so Andy is like, Karen. And so Fatima was like, you know what? And then she was like, see, I don't think you wish me well at all. Because if you did, you wouldn't be throwing shade left, right, front, and center. And so Karen was like, Andy was trying to intervene. Fatima said, let Karen talk. And so she said, yes, I am throwing shade. She was like, I do throw shade. You're absolutely right. And you want to know why I do? She was like, because I see you happy. I see him happy, and that's messed up. And then, Fatima's like, again, shade. And Karen's like, oh my gosh. She was like, that's the human in me. I'm not perfect. But you know what? At the end of the day, I want you to be happy. I want him to be happy. I want to be happy because we all got to be happy, in order to be able to raise this baby or take care of this child when he gets here. Okay. And so Fatima was basically like, on that we agree. She said, but at the same time, this is Karen. This house pisses me off. This desk pisses me off. These pictures of y'all piss me off. And then hold up, baby. She see the damn ring. Okay. She see the ring and she lose her freaking mind. Like, are you freaking serious? And then Andy's still saying, Karen, we should go. She go over there and pick up the damn ring and looking at it, inspecting it. Oh, so y'all engaged? I said, Zach, why you not snatching this ring out of her hand? Oh, this is an engagement ring? Okay, Andy saying, let's go. She's saying, yes, it is. That's what Fatima tells her. She says, so y'all engaged. And, Zach says, yes, we are. And so she said, wow. Then Zach takes the ring out her hand. I said, baby, you was moving too slow for me, all right? And she just basically looking and she like, shit. She was like, so that's what this is all about. She said, you want me to sign an agreement, so that your child can help make you, that doesn't interfere into your life or whatever. And he was like, Karen, that's not fair. That's not what this is. So she was like, oh, it's not. And he was like, no, it's not. She was like, because you don't have to play games with me. Of course, he telling her ain't nobody playing games with her or whatever. And so he was like, he being straight up. And she said, tell me what you want. What the hell do you want? And then he was like, I just told you. And so she was like, okay, fine. She said, so you know what? You put up the paperwork of what you saying that your offer is and what you want the arrangement to be. I'm going to make this easy for you. And once you put it in, give it to Andy and Andy will look it over for me to make sure that everything is okay and I will sign it. Okay? And so basically he's like, okay. And she was like, okay, thank you. Goodbye. Okay. And then of course, freaking Andy is still calling after her as she leaves out. So now when she leaves out, Fatima was about to walk away. Of course, Zach is like, wait. He was like, I did do the death for her and I did it for you, but it's not the same thing. Okay. And she was just like, Zach, no, look. And he was like, no, look. He was like, I just want to explain it to you, be real with you. He was like, I understand if you don't want to get married. I completely understand because this is a bunch of shit. And it is, Zach. It definitely is. And he basically was like, you could find somebody that has less drama. Fatima been knew that, Zach. She really didn't need you to say that to her. She's asking him, what is this? And she was like, you being insecure and shit. And he's saying that it's not insecurity, it's basically the truth. But at the end of the day, like I said, Fatima been riding with you all this time, so she don't need you to sit there and say that to her now in this moment because of this situation that damn Karen did. Trust me, Fatima knows she could have been walked away from your ass, Zach. Okay? If there's anything she know is that, and she's still been a ride or die for you. So, basically he just continues to tell her that, this is not about me. This is about you. This is the way that I feel about you and me wanting to be with you. And he was like, he knows that a real man doesn't hurt a woman that he loves this way and he has to try to fix it and, things of that nature. And he was like, I can't fix this at the end of the day and I can't change what's already been done. I just can't. And so, I love you enough to know that you deserve better than me, basically is what he was saying to her. So she was like, Zach, nobody's perfect. Everybody comes with something. And she was like, I do deserve you. I deserve all of you, And so, she was like, now, look, I know that this is going to be a lot to be putting up with and a lot of stuff that we got to deal with. But what I'm not is basically, like scared and ready to run off or whatever the case may be because of this situation. All right. And so, Zach all here crying and he was like, you let me get close to you and, be in your life or whatever. And I just don't want to lose you. And he was like, if you feel like you close to walking away, can you let me know? And she says, yeah, and wipes the tears away and was telling him she's not even close. And so she just basically was like, look, we all, got choices that we got to make. And some of those are choices that he have to make. In this case, is still affecting her. And, he was just saying that he got to be careful and stuff like that. And he was like, I got you. And so, I love that little moment with, Fatima together, Zach and Fatima, and how they are together. And she was like saying she been through a lot with her exes and all of that. But, she just knows that she has to learn to watch and listen. And so this was just a real moment between them, okay? Where even though Karen felt like she was going to come in there and raise hell and probably crack everything up between them or whatever, they still was able to find a way to have a real conversation and get down to the bottom of what they need to do. And she was like, she don't care about all the rest of it. She just cares about how he treat her. You know what I'm saying? So he had his moment. He was crying. She had, her moment that she was crying, and then they went ahead and hugged, right? And so in the meantime, Karen and Andy get their behinds up out of there. Now on the way home, Karen stopped by and we're seeing freaking Aaron at the damn basketball court. Okay, she decides to stop there on her way to meet Andy and them back at the daggone girls. And, she's calling up Pam like, oh, do I need to stop by the shop? Is everything okay? Did you close up already? Pam was saying no, they still have one customer left. They would be closing up after that. And so she's like, oh, well, I'm going to come by there. She's like, girl, if you going to come, just come, because you going to complain. And, stop by anyway, no matter what I say. She's like, why don't I just take pictures of me unplugging everything? And then Karen is like, and, locking the damn, putting the alarm on or whatever. And she's like, yeah, and that too. So she was like, is something else going on? Is this because of your pregnancy? Because girl, you've been wilding out. You've been on my behind and just, extra crazier than what you normally are. So she's like, no, I'm just worried about my shop. Like, didn't you leave the curlers on the last time? And she's like, yeah, I did. It was a mistake. She's like, yeah, it's a mistake that could have burned my whole place down. And she's basically like, yeah, I know, I apologize for that already, and it's not going to happen again. So she's like, I'm going to send you the pictures. And she's like, okay, bye. Now, in the meantime, Maurice calls up on Calvin. This part tickled me. I say, even in jail, Maurice can make me laugh. He's saying, you still ain't get the number for Andy. You still ain't get a chance to speak to Sabrina and see what's going on. And he was like, no, I didn't, but I'm going to get it. So Maurice was saying, like, I know y'all blame me for this. I know all of y'all think that this is my fault. And Calvin is telling him, no, actually, we don't. We don't blame you for this at all. There's no way you could have known what this damn crazy ass cube was going to do. And Maurice is like, no, I didn't. He was like, but you did know that he was on some, grimy shit. And so Maurice is like, what? And he's like, nothing. And so basically he's like, well, when are you going to speak to her? When are you going to be able to get the number? He's like, I'm working on it, because Maurice was saying he needs to get out of there. He was like, just give me the number and I'll contact her. So he was like, I don't have it. And he was about to be like, I'm gonna get it and text you. And Maurice was like, bitch, I know you wasn't about to say you was gonna text me the number. And he like, no, I'm gonna get it for you. He was like, just give me about an hour and call me back. And Maurice says this is his last damn call that he gets. He was like, how the hell you gonna send it to me? You gonna do Morse code? And he starts tapping on the damn phone. And so he was like, all right, since this is your last call and you're not going to be able to call me back, call me in the morning and I will definitely have it, by then. Excuse me, y'all. He tells him he will definitely have it by then. And he's like, I love you, Maurice. And Maurice like, bitch, you don't love me, okay? You ain't even never give me none. So Maurice was, of course, Calvin is like, Maurice, stop it. And he was like, nah, I got to get up the phone. He said, okay, but I really do love you. And we all want you to get out of there. Call me tomorrow. And he says, all right. And they go ahead and hang up. So now in the meantime, Aaron, happy behind, is come running over to Karen from the damn basketball court, asking her what she doing there. This is a pleasant surprise. She say she just want to stop by real quick and see him, before she go see the girls, and just tell him how thankful she is to him, for him being him and standing by her and keeping his word, and how that means so much. So he's like, Karen, what's really going on? What made you stop by there? She asking him how he doing, and he's saying he good, and she's like, good. So of course, she ends up telling him, like, I was just with Zach and Fatima. Because, of course, it have to be about Zach for her to come around Aaron. Because we all know she don't want no damn Aaron. Okay, let's be real. We know, he know, everybody know. Okay, but he's like, oh, well, how did that go? When she tells him that she stopped by the, oh, well, it went good. He's talking about some, oh, I see that you, or finally getting it, that things could go on and life could be good. And she's like, yeah, I am getting that, and saying how much she thank him for him being consistent, and that means a lot. And so he's basically like, well, you're welcome. And he was basically saying, and you also see that, I'm going to be there for you and that you could depend on me and that I'm not going nowhere. He was like, I told you no matter how long that it takes or whatever. So she was like, yeah, I'm starting to see that too. And he was like, oh, really? Of course, that's making him happy. And so she basically was saying she going to go ahead and see the girls. And he was like, all right, well, I'll come by later and I'll bring you some ice cream. And she like, yeah, don't forget to bring the hands. And he's like, yeah, oh, my hands going to be with me too. I said, whatever. So now, in the meantime, Danny goes up to daggone Andy's house, and who should freaking be there? I said, why is Gary still here? Why does he have access to just run up in Andy's house the way that he wants to? Because Andy gave it to him. That's why. He's sitting here trying to hide behind a damn fruit bowl, butt naked, talking about, oh, I was waiting on you. And Danny like, oh, really? And she telling him how that fruit bowl ain't held in the damn thing. Okay, she could still see. And he say he gonna go get dressed, and then Sabrina comes up right after her. And she's like, I need a drink. And they start pouring drinks. And Sabrina's telling her, like, girl, we got, a naked Gary up in here, whatever the case may be. And she was like, wait, she's back messing with him. She was like, I guess so, girl. We could talk about Gary Daddy. So she was like, Gary Daddy, what are you talking about? Like, he's here. She was like, I can't believe, she's still messing with him. She was like, I don't like him being here with her. This is what Sabrina's saying. She was like, you don't have a problem with it? And so Danny says, listen, that's long daddy Gary Silver. I see why she keep going back to him, okay? He could actually be a porn star. I said, Danny, you crazy. So Sabrina's over here like, ew, nobody want to think about him being a damn porn star. She was like, he is crazy. And she was like, well, I'm just saying, craziness aside, he working with something down there. So Sabrina's like, did we forget that he almost squeezed to the death? She was like, and now she got a penthouse in a car. Now that I don't agree with, Danny, but you know what I'm saying? Danny was keeping it real at the same time. So she was like, well, you know how that goes. He said he would never do that shit again. And so here come Gary walking out talking about, I overheard y'all ladies and I apologize for that happening. And I don't want y'all to know that it never happened again. Like, we give a damn. I was saying, Gary, we don't care. Get the hell out. Nobody gives a damn, Gary. Okay? Nobody gives a damn. He over here talking about I love her. And they was like, yeah, but are you still, basically stalking her? He talking about he was never stalking her. That's the whole reason why you bought the place in the first place, child. Tell that shit to somebody else, okay? So she was like, well, we just need you to say bye. You could go. Sabrina saying bye. He could leave. And Danny saying, no, I'm not done. I still want to talk. And, we just getting started. And so Gary says, no, they're not back together. They're just basically talking. I think there's another word from which I've been doing, okay? No matter of fact, he said seeing each other. And Danny was like, seeing each other? Oh, okay, yeah, y'all seeing each other, all right. And so, basically, he over here talking about, no, I'm not stalking her. I was never doing that. When Sabrina asked that, he was like, what? He was like, no, it wasn't that at all. That's not what it was. He was like, look, it was a bit crazy, I'll admit, but I'm not into none of that no more. I'm not being jealous, He was like, I just want to, treat her right and give her everything that she wants. And trust me, I really love your friend. I never loved nobody like I loved her. Child, Gary, who gives a damn, okay? I'm sorry. I wouldn't have wanted to hear nothing he had to say. But he was telling them that maybe they should go ahead and talk to her. And Sabrina was like, nah, we don't want to talk to her. We did enough talking to her. We want to talk to you. And when he was saying he got her the car and the apartment and all of that, Sabrina was like, okay, but that's material things. So he talking about he don't know no other way to say sorry. And she was like, well, how about just doing the right thing? And he was like, that's what I'm trying to do. So she was like, well, ask yourself, what the heck do you call the right thing? Tell us, what do you call the right thing, Gary? Because your idea of the right thing and our idea of the right thing is probably not the same. That's when he want to talk about, I'm not jealous anymore. I'm doing what I need to do. I know how your friend feels about you. And Danny's like, how does she feel about you? And he's like, she loves me. And so Danny's like, oh, glad to know that. And he was like, and I love her. He was like, I really do. And she was like, that's good. That's really good. That's what Danny was saying to him. And so anyway, he was like, I'm going to go, stuttering. And they just was like, okay, bye. And he's talking about some Danny, I'm sorry. Like, Danny ain't the one that you got to apologize to. He's saying, I'm just sorry. Okay. But I guess that sorry was supposed to be because she done seen him, naked twice. All right. And so anyway, he go to leave. He's talking about some good seeing you again, Sabrina, whatever the case may be. Now, as they continue the conversation, now was just Sabrina and Danny there. She's actually saying to him how, Deo had came by the house and Calvin was there. And of course, Danny was about to have a joke on Calvin, but she was like, no, not for nothing. Calvin actually handled it really well. And she was like, man, listen, Calvin wasn't playing. The guy that robbed Maurice or put Maurice in jail, okay, and caused us both to end up in jail or whatever, that started all of this. He was asked to leave and he didn't want to. And Calvin basically went and picked up that golf club and was beating the hell out of him. And I had to stop him from killing him. And I'm like, okay, why are we not just saying Q? Why we keep blanking out who the person is and talking about the guy that did this to Maurice? Tell her who it is so she can know that this is the dude from the damn airport already that she working with. Because just like Danny said, she was like, I stopped him. And Danny was like, well, girl, you better than me because I want to stop the daggone thing. I would have let that fight go down, let him kill him, and I would have been coming back to bury the body with him. Okay, we would have buried that body together. I said, I know that's right, Danny. All right. So I'm like, y'all keep bull crapping. We're letting her know who Q is, and I don't understand. Like, I'm seeing in the next preview that Q's over here still rapping to her, trying to get her out on a date, and I do not like where this story is going. Now, in the meantime, Andy gets home, and of course, she's trying to give the girls the rundown of what happened, but of course, Karen is right on the tails of her behind, okay, coming out the elevator, so she really didn't get to go into it. And Karen comes out talking about, just go ahead with the story. I know you was talking about them, tell them about it, Freaking Andy was being mad, obvious, didn't even know how to make up something good, talking about, I think I'm gonna put Till over here. And they like, yeah, Till would look good. I said, girl, really? So she's like, no, I wasn't talking about you. Okay, yeah, I was talking about you. Because, of course, we all know that even though Andy's a lawyer, she don't know how to damn hide nothing. She ain't got a poker face, whatever have you. And so she's like, I was just letting them know that you did good and I was proud of you. I'm still confused of proud of what. But then she burst out and was like, oh, well, how long did you know they was engaged? You knew they was engaged. So, of course, Sabrina and Danny's like, engaged? Wait a minute, hold up, what? Oh, yeah, they're engaged or whatever. You been knew about that this whole time and was keeping it from me. What kind of friend are you? So Andy was like, don't go there. That's not fair. She was like, I'm a good friend. I've always been a friend. Oh, well, it's hard to see where your friendship and loyalty lies or whatever the case may be. And I was just sticking up for Andy because I was like, Karen, please get the hell up out of here with that crap. I'm like, first of all, Andy literally just learned about it 2 seconds before you did. So she didn't know this whole time, whatever this whole time was supposed to be. And secondly, it's not her place. Okay. Andy was like, that was for Zach to tell you. And Danny was like, yeah, well, she do got a point there, okay? And so basically, they say how she did tell him the baby was his and how it supposedly went good and she handled it well or whatever the case may be. And, she's just basically like, oh, well, we gonna move on from here and I'm okay. And they like, are you sure you okay? Danny like, you sure you good? And she talking about, yeah, I'm good. I'm straight. I'm gonna do what I gotta do or whatever the case may be. So she claims. And so, Danny starts to tell Andy like, well, since we airing everything out, you might as well know that we got to see damn Gary up here, his balls flying everywhere. He was naked. And so Andy talking about, oh my God, you saw him naked. And Sabrina basically was like, no, okay, it was just Danny. And for some reason, Andy was happy with that. Now she want to know where her phone is because she want to be able to go and call him up. I said, girl, Andy, I was just sticking up for you. Now I'm ready to toss your ass back to the trash. Sabrina gets to tell Andy about the fact that, of course, Maurice is being told that, if he puts it on her, then, he would be able to get out. And then they're like talking about the prosecutor. Andy's like, well, it's not about you because Sabrina was like, this daggone prosecutor. And she was like, tell her, girl, and Andy has to tell her, like, it's about me. I won the case against him with his wife in the divorce. So he's coming after me and he's taking it out on y'all. They say that Maurice's case is actually strong because it basically sounded like he was being sarcastic in the call, which we all already know that. And Sabrina was saying that, he's always sarcastic. And so, Karen was also talking about we should get a lot more money than that because he makes a lot more money than that because he offered the $3,000 a month. And Danny was like, oh, I need to get pregnant by somebody. And Andy was like, I thought you said that's not what you wanted to do. So she took him on some, yeah, that is what I, you know what I'm saying, said. And Danny was like, why the hell not? And so Sabrina's saying, I understand you, Karen. Stuff been hard for me too right now. And it's completely unfair. You know, I've been going through something that's completely unfair. So I get it. And she was like, I'm proud of you. Everybody going, I am too. I am too. You know, we're so proud of you. I said, boo hoo hoo bye. Okay. So, you know, basically they gonna talk about how was she being so cool about it. No, she being cool now with y'all, but she wasn't cool or respectful when she was there in they damn face. So cut it out. But she talking about, again, I hate to say it, but my mama was right. You know, thanks to everything my mama taught me, I'm doing the right thing now with writing them letters. I'm finally saying how I actually feel. Good for you, damn Karen. Okay, talking about she feel lighter. Girl, we don't. Okay, we feel heavier. You done threw all this damn mess on us and aggravated our damn nerves, all right? Or at least aggravated mom. But whatever, you know, she's talking about everything is much clearer. I said, good. I hope it is, Karen, because I'm really sick of you, okay? Like I said, if I was your friend, every time you open your mouth, I would be shut up. Don't want to hear it, okay? If it ain't nothing positive, we don't want to hear it. But anyway, moving on from that, of course, they bring up, you know, Danny with her with the hope she don't bring nobody home and run them over again. They asking what's going on with Preston. And of course, she brings up the whole situation of, you know, the girl that Preston claims he wanted to marry, which I honestly feel like he made that damn girl up. I don't even think she exists. She was like, you know, oh, he's back at home waiting on me. So they like, oh, that's good. And she was like, well, why is that good? You know, she was like, you know, oh, well, you get to tell him the truth and y'all get to talk everything out. And Danny was like, oh, interesting, really truth? She was like, how about the truth that he wanted to marry this other person and I basically found the damn ring in his pocket? So they like, oh no, you know, what are you gonna do? Now, in the meantime, Andy's so worried about running off to look for her damn phone and duck in the room and call Gary up. Oh, it's okay, because he kept apologizing to her, and he was saying he was only supposed to lock up, so he'll come back and bring the key. He know what he doing. He know what buttons to push on Andy's ass, and she just keep falling for it. Oh, it's okay. She was like, actually, I wish you was still here. So he was like, well, what time are they leaving? She gonna be like, I don't know, but I'm gonna try to get rid of them. I said, really, Andy? Like I said, as soon as I freaking stick up for you, you make me sick to my stomach not even 2 seconds later. So now you rushing out talking about I'm going to try to get rid of them when the whole purpose of this was you supposed to be in there for your damn girls. Girl. But no, you more worried about Gary and the D. Child. Anyway, moving on from that, you know, they finally get to discuss this whole situation with, you know, Sabrina, and Sabrina starts saying to her, like, come on, can you please try to talk on Maurice's behalf? And she's like, girl, I already talked on your behalf. Like, I can't be doing that. She was like, nah, that's going to be taking it too far. I can't keep coming back and asking for the same stuff over and over and over. Mind you, they keep trying to get the liquor bottle from Danny, and Danny saying, you know, she needs to go ahead and get this daggone drink on right now. So she was like, but I do know the case is weak and that, you know, Maurice will be okay. It'll work out some kind of way. So Sabrina's like, I know Maurice is scared and I know this is hard on him. You know, he's probably going crazy in there. And so Danny want to sit here and make jokes. Oh, well, you know, he's actually probably the damn, you know, what she said? He's belle of the ball, you know, holding court or whatever. So, you know, basically, Sabrina's like, he got to get out of there. We got to try to do something for him, all right? And I said, yes, we do, okay? Maurice got to get up out of there, child. So Andy, of course, at first kept being like, come on, that's too much. I can't do it. She was like, I'm sorry for the situation that he in. But, you know, there's nothing else that I could do. I can't ask again. And, of course, when Sabrina keeps going, baby, please, you know. And he's like, oh, it's unfortunate. And she was like, I hate to see it. But then she's looking at Sabrina with the sad eyes. And she's like, really? And she's like, I will see what I can do, okay? I cannot make no promises. And, you know, I can try. And Sabrina was like, thank you. So getting to Zach and Fatima, she basically opens up this daggone child support thing that, of course, Hayden and, you know, the first baby mama, Heather, done hooked up. Child, she look at it, and of course he going back and forth with her. Oh, I don't know what you opening that for. You know, you over here opening other people mail and things that don't belong to you. He was like, you know, you go and tell me about it sooner or later, because he was, of course, saying that he didn't want to look at it. And when he finally does look at it, Why they trying to get $500,000? He was like, I know you freaking lying me. Like, can she do this? He was like, I'm not paying that. Ain't no way in the hell we gonna pay no $500,000. She talking about, it's not been judged yet. We have not came to that conclusion that that's what's gonna be. That's what they asking for. Wait till we go through the whole process. He said he would move to Zamunda, okay, before he would pay $500,000. I said, I know that's right, Zach. So Danny gets home to Preston. He asking her, did she have a good time? She's saying, yeah, she did. He was on a phone call that he was just hanging up from when she walked in or whatever. And she's like, oh, is that the girl? He's like, what girl? The girl that you proposed to, or that you wanted to propose to, that you told me about. And so he's like, well, that's what I want to talk to you about. We need to have a conversation. Come on and sit down so we could talk or whatever. I was kind of hoping we could talk. So she's like, about the phone call. And he was like, phone call? He's like, girl, I'm trying to talk to you about something else. She like, was that her? He's like, who? So she was like, the girl you was dating before me. So he's like, the one you wanted to marry. Of course, she lets him know that she saw the ring in his pocket or whatever, and she was like, you was so ready to give her that ring or whatever. And he's like, what ring? And she was like, the ring that was in your pocket. He was like, well, what makes you think that was for her? What makes you think it wasn't for you? He's asking her, did she put the ring on? And she's like, no, why the hell would I do that? And of course, just like most of us freaking knew, the ring was for her. He's like, because it was for you, Danny, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I want to marry you. And she was like, are you freaking kidding me? She was like, Preston, are you serious right now? And he's basically like, yeah. So all this time, the ring was Danny's. Okay. And Danny felt stupid, like, okay, you know how Danny be. That was the episode, y'all. He talking about, I want you to marry me. So what do you think Danny gonna say to Preston? How the hell is damn Karen gonna act now, child? Is she finally gonna be satisfied? Is she gonna be trying to go for $500,000 from Zach too? Andy and Gary, child, just throw them away. I wouldn't even be asking Andy for nothing to do with my legal work. I would be trying to find me a new damn lawyer. I'm sorry. Some things we can't mix business and pleasure with, okay? It just be too much, y'all. Just be too much. Y'all put it in the comments. Let's discuss. Tell me what you like, you didn't like, what you looking forward to. Anything I missed, put it down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you are so inclined. Give me a wave. Let me know you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. Till next time, y'all. They done rose my damn blood pressure up. Toodaloo.